It is Friday, folks. Friday. It's 2:01 p.m. here on the west coast of these United States of America. My name is Arthur. Welcome to the Apologia Center, a weekly live Q&A conversation. However this stuff is developing, I don't even know what's going on at this point, but we're still in conversation with one another. That's what matters. What we call it doesn't. I changed the title. So trying to see if folks would be more willing to come and engage in conversation with us. Drop a comment, say hello, tell us what's going on. Tell me what your favorite color is. What is your favorite color? Put it down in the comments section. What's up, Glock? How you doing? On Fire for Jesus, Apologetics. How you doing? Keanu, what's going on? David, what's going on, my man? Tell us what your favorite color is, folks. I'll bring my computer closer to me. That's my laptop. I monitor things on my laptop. Hike Big Laurie, what's up? What's going on, Hike? How you doing? There's another Big Laurie that texted me today in the morning. So I don't know if he's watching or not, but he might be. Who knows? Smash that. Oh, purple. That's a cool one. Hike says it's blue. Red. Ryder says it's red. Claret and blue. Dude, just use normal names. Jason. Doing well, man. Doing well. Thank you. I'll keep fighting with my comment section. What it's going to look like. We'll get it right one of these days. Yep. That's the guy. That's the one that sent me that message. My favorite color is blue. Okay, we're going to jump into some of your questions. And we'll go from there. Those who are interested in having a live discussion, you're more than welcome to join us on Discord. If you go on Discord, jump into the conversation tab. You should be connected. Alpha, what's going on? Jedi Knight blue. Teal blue. Man. Red, blue, orange. I like that. That's my favorite color. The tricolor. Let me jump into there. Jason says, does Armenia have any international games? Plus, is Armenia in the UEFA or Oceania? Armenia is in UEFA. It's in Europe. Yeah, we had a qualifying game against Latvia yesterday, which we lost 2-0. Won the first game at home against them. Late penalty. We are in a Turkey with Croatia, Turkey. So it's Croatia, Turkey, Armenia, Wales, and Latvia. And we're sitting in third right now. So big upset yesterday. Turkey beat Croatia, which puts Turkey at 13 points, Croatia at 10, Armenia at 7, Wales at 7, Latvia at 3. We still have an away game against Wales. I think we have an away game against Croatia. We lost to Croatia 1-0. And those are the only two remaining games. So, yeah, they're in the Euro qualifiers. Hey, Arthur, do you know any good resources for exegetical works? I'm looking for things on the authorship and audience of Hosea. Any ideas? Yeah, I got tons of ideas, man. I always have ideas. So, I'm going to put this on the screen. I can get up there and grab the book, but I'd rather... Here is an investment that I would recommend all of you guys make. Hang in the tight. Hang in there, guys. Hang in there. I'm going to pull these up. You're going to see it. Now, if you bought logos using my my link, then you could just buy this electronically. You can still download logos and then add to your library and add these things electronically. I recommend them quite a bit. Okay, now if you were to buy this in its, that's not it. If you were to buy this as a set, I'm not sure how much the set is, but here, found it. So 8 volumes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can buy all 8 of them. They're not on the screen yet. I'll put it up right now. Hang on. Okay. So if you want to buy all 8 of these, now I didn't buy these all at once. I bought them individually. I'll tell you why this is a good thing. Okay. Why it's a great resource to have. And you can just build it up or you can buy it electronically. I have the physical copy. So IVP, Bible Dictionary Series. You can buy it on Accordance if you have Accordance for $299. I don't know how much it is in logos. Let's see. So $250 on logos if you buy the 8-volume dictionary series. Okay. So why is this such a good thing? Why? And you can buy the physical copy. Simply put, Jackson. Right? You can. I have the physical ones. They let Turkey play Armenia. Yeah, Armenia and Turkey played each other home and away. Armenia lost at home, tied in Turkey 1-1. Lost at home 2-1. So just going back to the question here, this dictionary series is really, really good. So it is a dictionary series, which means, let's say you're doing a study through Hosea, you're going to be able to find an entry on Hosea, a dictionary entry on Hosea. And then you can use the bibliography on that. You'll get like authorship conversations, dating, all that stuff will be there. And I should read what the whole series includes, okay? All the books it includes. Because that's important. Here, we'll go back. So this is what's all included in there, okay? Dictionary of the Old Testament Pentateuch. So the first one is only on the first 5 books of the Bible. Dictionary of the Old Testament historical books. Okay, so all on the historical books. Dictionary of the Old Testament wisdom, poetry, and writings. Dictionary of the Old Testament prophets. So Hosea would be in the prophets. And then you'd go to the section and deal with it. Dictionary of Jesus and the Gospels, Dictionary of Paul and his letters, Dictionary of New Testament background, and a Dictionary of later New Testament should be this one. Later New Testament and its developments. That's the 8 of them. Highly recommend it. If you specifically, Jackson, want a like a commentary that you want to invest into and buy on, I always recommend this website. Go to bestbiblecommentaries.com. So this is the website. You go to bestbiblecommentaries.com and then you go, okay, what am I looking at? So you go, I'm looking at an Old Testament book, and then I'm specifically looking one for Hosea. So you open it up and it's rated. And I'll tell you what the cool things are. So it's rated. These are the top 3 commentaries on Hosea. Okay. Now if you go down, you can see, okay, Doug Stewart has a Hosea and Jonah commentary. Right? That's the number 1 commentary there is. Here's the cool thing about this website. You go, yeah, let's see if Amazon has it. You click on it, it takes you to Amazon. You go, look, it's $50. So this is the way you develop a really good commentary series. Okay, folks? The way you develop a really good commentary series is not by going out, in my opinion. It's not by going out and buying an entire commentary series, even though that helps. Like with my Logos software, I have commentary series in there. Like I have the Pillar commentary series, so on and so forth. I have a number of other ones. But if you're doing this by yourself and you're like, I want to build my own commentary series, you go to bestcommentaries.com and then you buy it. You buy one of the top 3, I would say, on each book as you're studying it. And by the time you're done with your Bible and studying it, you're going to have a, let's just say, 66 book. You probably won't. You won't have 66 books. You'll have less than that because some of them are combined, like Hosea and Jonah would be one. Top rated. You're going to have the best of each series, each commentary series in your library. And that's going to be extremely beneficial because you will have the best of the best. So that would be my recommendation. Are any of these things free? No. Good things usually aren't free. Okay? Seriously. Yeah, Hike. We will see. I'm not very optimistic about the near future. I think these conflicts can truly land the world into a world war. And so I'm praying and hoping that people are sane and don't do stupid stuff. So Jackson, you got to invest, man. I would just say save up money, invest your money into good resources. Like the commentary series that I mentioned, the 200 some odd one, you can buy the Minor Prophets one, for example, right? So if for fairly cheap. So IVP dictionary series, right? So if you go to InterVarsity, instead of buying it as a package, you go there. These are new covers. They're really nice. I like the newer ones a lot more. And then you go, I want one on the prophets. So you go, I want this one. It's $70. You can buy it used for less than this. Okay? So let's see. I'm helping you shop here, dude. Okay. It's cheaper on Amazon. It's $50 on Amazon. Okay. You get it tomorrow if you have a thing. But also, let's see if they have used ones. Used. Buy used. You go to Amazon, you go to buy used, right? $30, man. That's a couple of cups of coffee. Fast from coffee. Don't eat lunch one day. Buy this book. I'm dead serious. Like fast from dinner or something. Like if you're going to go out and eat, don't. And then go and invest your money, your $30. Buy a used version. I'm very sure the used version isn't going to be like, it's in good shape. Okay? Buy it. Now you have one of the dictionary series. And just do this. Just be orchestrated and planned about it, man. And it will be good for you. You want to invest into having a good library. You want to invest into having whatever, whether that's digitally or actually in your library. Folks, look who's in the house. Mr. Tom Cacciaduri. He's on vacation in Europe. And he's still doing his job as a mod. He's showing up to the live stream. And he's like, what's up? The moderator's in the house.
This is a sickness of the highest order.
My man is traveling with his wife across the globe. Still shows up and says, what's up? That's the kind of friends and community we have here at Apologia Center. I asked because I have a paper due tonight, but I might do that for the final paper at the end of the semester. Hey, Jackson, do me a favor. Why don't you email me? Email me at info@apologiacenter.com what exactly you need. And I might be able to either send you some pictures, like I can scan the chapter or whatever like that, or I'll just copy paste some commentary that I have on authorship and all that stuff that you can use as a resource. So just shoot me an email, info@apologiacenter.com, and then I'll scan stuff for you or take pictures or screenshots or something like that and send it your way. How about that? You got a paper due by tonight. We want to help you get your paper done. That's the way we're going to do it, bro. You're a college student. We're here for you. Sounds good? Good. That's the way it is, okay? Because
this is serious.
That's right. Papers are serious. They got to be due. Oh. It's weird. I got some good news for y'all, but I can't tell you what it is. So I sort of can tell you what it is. So an opportunity came my way today to write an article to be published. Not like in the professional journal, but in a certain apologetics thingy. So excited for that. We're working through that, and then once we got all the final details, I'll let you guys know. But it'll take a couple of months for me to write it and stuff like that. So yeah, we're in October. I'm guessing this is like we're looking into the new year or February. I mean, because I got to do the research and be able to write the amount they want me to write. But that's exciting. I got a really cool text today, and I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Why not? Twitch, what's up? Chicken noodle soup. Soups. Again, I should. Fun fact: the second largest cathedral in Florence is named after Armenia. What's it called? Minaeus of Florence. Ha! Saint Minaeus. So this is like Minas. It's just the way they said it, okay? 3rd century, Minos, Armenian. Oh, I'm reading here, guys. Here we go. Somebody on Twitch says, does the streamer answer? Yes, sir, I do answer. So, named after this guy, Saint Minos, who's a martyr, 250 AD, died in Florence, Italy. He's venerated in the Roman Catholic Church. Interesting. Depicted as a young prince holding a crown, crowned with a rod and palm, crowned with a... Okay. I haven't heard about Minos. Cool name, by the way. Venerated as the first Christian martyr of Florence. Wow. The church of Saint Miniato al Monte is dedicated to him. According to legend, he was an Armenian king or prince serving in the Roman army or making a potential pilgrimage to Rome, who had decided to become a hermit near Florence. He was denounced as a Christian and in 250 AD brought before Emperor Decius, who was persecuting Christians. Miniato refused to sacrifice to the Roman gods. Amen. Praise the Lord. And was put through numerous torments. He was thrown into a furnace, was lapidated, and was thrown to a lion or a panther at the amphitheater. Wow. From which he emerged unharmed. Interesting. Finally, he was beheaded near the present Piazza della Signoria. But his legend states that he picked up his own head. That's nuts. Miato then crossed the Arno and returned to his hermitage and the hill known as Mons. Yeah. So he's a martyr. It's interesting where, but that's kind of crazy. He's walking around with his head. Thanks for the history lesson there. Oh, it's beautiful staying right next to it. Dude, you're living the life right now. I saw you on a little scooter thing riding through the towns in Florence. I must say that scooter matched you very much. You should get one of those when you come back. So, folks, Discord is the way you connect for us to have these conversations. If you want to call in, I just pinned the link for you to call in if you're interested in calling in instead of going on Discord. So multiple ways you can interact and call us and we can have these conversations. I learned something new today. Thanks. You're welcome. Hey guys, we're almost at 4,850 subscribers. We're at 4847. Hey, one more, we'll be at 4848. Who wants to be 4848? If you are unsubscribed and you're watching the stream right now, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become 4848. And yeah, we're on our way to 4850. 150 could go by really quick. over this next week, and we could be sitting at 5,000 by the end of next week if we get 150 new subscribers over a week. I think over the last couple of days, we've been able to get like 20 some odd new subscribers. So yeah, we went from 0 to 13, but that's not updated fully. I think we've hit 20 some odd subscribers. So again, we're going to keep uploading and editing videos and uploading them and trying to do the streams as well. I'm going to try to use this weekend to get some videos out, or prepared to get them out on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So if we can cover 3 videos for the next week from all the backlogged stuff I have sitting in my external hard drive, then we're going to be good. Because those videos, the ones I put out, especially the Jordan Peterson one, did really good. We're at 1671 for that. Quite a bit of interaction. There's 34 comments on that. The short I put out with Pine Creek Doug, that's got 3,600 views. So the videos have been doing decent. The one with Soteriology 101, not so much. So, but we'll keep them coming. My eyes are burning. Again, we got a link you can call in, and then we got Discord that's live. More than welcome to call in and ask questions. If you want to have kind of a friendly discussion / debate, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Whatever you want to do. I'm going to pull up a video. This is like a Turkish-funded YouTube channel, by the way. Their information is generally very skewed. Just want you guys to see what's going on in regards to how the world is reacting to this stuff.
As Western leaders continue to publicly back Israel's right to defend itself, in streets across the world, thousands of people rallied in support of Palestinians. After Friday prayers, huge numbers staged protests in Iraq and in Jordan. American and Israeli flags were burned in Iran. And in rallies across the subcontinent, thousands were seen on streets in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and India. In Western countries, however, there were growing security worries about similar support for Palestinians. In Sydney, ahead of a planned pro-Palestinian demonstration on Sunday, Australian police said they were considering applying special stop and search powers for the first time in almost 2 decades.
These powers are extraordinary. These powers are seldom used. We are considering our legal options at the moment.
Following
Why is it that the Australians are the ones that like immediately rush to like some tyrannical thing? These powers are extraordinary. We don't really use them, but we're going to use them now. It's randomly stopping people and searching them. I get the worries, by the way, because of what the Hamas leader has called for. But it's like it's always the Australians. They're the ones who don't know. It's like next thing you know, it's the Canadians.
During rallies on Thursday, police in New York have bolstered security plans, including cancelling leave, with more gatherings expected on Friday and through the weekend. Worries about the potential for unrest are growing in Europe in particular. As water cannons and tear gas were used on pro-Palestinian protesters in Paris on Thursday, French Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin announced a systematic ban on such demonstrations. That comes amid a rise in anti-Semitism in the country. Darmanin said more than 100 cases have been reported since Saturday.
We are fighting, and we will always fight, so that no one will ever be fearful on our soil. No suspicion, no division between us should ever exist within our nation.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz on Thursday said he was outlawing any gathering that celebrated Hamas, vowing zero tolerance of anti-Semitism. There are concerns about such threats in the UK as well, with some schools being closed protectively. The Interior Minister, Suella Braverman, has also warned that waving a Palestinian flag at protests may not be, in her words, legitimate if it's in support of Hamas. That's ahead of a planned demonstration here outside the BBC's main building in London. The violent scene in the Middle East is of historic proportions, but the divisions it has created are currently visible on the streets of the whole world.
Right.
John Flynn, TRT1.
There you go. How come they didn't talk about the protests in Turkey, by the way? Did you notice that? That there's protests in Turkey. That there's quite a bit of support for Hamas in Turkey. But they didn't mention that. Because TRT is founded and funded by Turks. Very skewed as to the way they report things. That noise wasn't supposed to come out because I've muted that. The algorithm is killing me, man. It's like everything, and I've watched a lot of news reports and stuff. Like everything is Israel and Hamas related, Palestine related. Every single video. What's up, my man?
Hello, Arthur.
What's going on, man?
Not much. Just relaxing at home with my little ones.
That's nice.
They're outside playing.
How's the weather? It should be getting cold where you are, right?
I think it might get colder like next week, probably. I think that's in the forecast, but right now it's like 75 degrees and sunny and nice.
That's pretty decent.
Yeah. What are you up to? Are you streaming right now?
Yes, I am.
Oh yeah, okay. I see the notification now.
You're live on the YouTube.
Cool. Hello, YouTubes. Is there something in particular you're interested in talking about, or
No,
anything,
just,
or what?
Yeah, anything you guys want to talk about. It's been a pretty practical week for me of getting stuff done, so I haven't had my head in books or reading or anything like that. So if you guys have stuff you want to talk about, then let's talk.
No, I didn't necessarily have anything I wanted to talk about. I didn't even like was probably obvious. I didn't even actually realize you were streaming. I just saw you in the voice channel and thought I'd come in and say hi.
Yeah, it's funny how it's like the Discord stuff gets people. Like it's some of you guys are like really active on Discord, so that's cool. I like that. I like the fact that like a number of people like have conversations and give and take and challenge each other on Discord, and like I have zero involvement. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Partly because it makes sense for people to challenge each other, like and learn from each other and be challenged by each other. Like I really like that. The focus doesn't have to be on me, so I like that. Hey, we got a couple of other people that have joined.
In this video, I'll explain.
Sorry, pulled up a random video. What's up, guys? We have who do we have in here? Let me see.
Christ is King. Is that Daniel? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Jerome.
I got Jerome and Daniel. What's up, guys?
I didn't even know you were streaming.
You guys need to hit the.
I was online.
This is why you guys need to hit the bell notification button.
No, I did. It's just that I was playing with a friend online, and then we just finished. I was gonna go to bed, and then I said goodnight to him. I scroll down my servant list, and then you were in here because it kind of tells if someone's in the VC because this little speaker icon in the corner. So I saw it. I was who's in here, and then I saw you two in there. So
yeah. Hey, I saw a chair. I was thinking about buying. I'm trying to replace this chair. This chair that I have is not really good actually. It's like leaning sideways now after using it for like a year and a half. So I don't recommend this chair.
how much is that?
I don't know. It was like $140 or something. But
Right.
yeah, it is what it is. But I saw this one that was really cool. And the armrests come up and they fold in so you can put your hands on it and like rest it so you can play with your joystick. So it's your controller. That was really interesting. I hadn't seen those. That like gamers, the whole streaming world has a great, should have a great appreciation and a gigantic thank you to gamers. Because a lot of the stuff we use is because of gamers. It's because of them streaming and gaming. And they're like, oh, this works. Like that goes from equipment to just like backgrounds and camera and lighting and like setups. Those are the people to learn from. Goldfish 1997,000 says, do you do discussions with like atheists or agnostics? I do discussions with atheists and agnostics and Christians and Muslims and Jews and Hindus and Buddhists and whomever wants to have a discussion with me. But I wouldn't.
You wouldn't stoop so low as to talk to a dirty atheist.
A what? A dirty what?
Atheist.
Oh yeah, disgusting people. Yeah. Why would I ever spend the time talking to atheists? No, it was interesting the way it was worded. It said that you do discussions with atheists or agnostics. I do discussions with both. I mean, the modern day YouTube atheists consider themselves. Almost all of them say they're agnostic. Some of you guys might in here as well.
That was a Twitch person, right?
That was a Twitch person, yeah. Yeah, it's only on Twitch where somebody's what's it called? Their handle would be a name with just like a series of random numbers after it. He said, all right, I'm dirty. I'll see you later. You're more than welcome to jump onto Discord and call us. There's a couple of dirty people like you in the Discord conversation. Hey, you know what the agreement there is? That the Bible actually says we're all dirty, man. That's just the reality. So the Bible's right about the atheists being dirty and the agnostics and the Christians. Everybody was a mess. So we got Daniel, we got Jerome in here. Daniel, I didn't hear you say hi, man.
Oh,
You might want to work on your mic because it's coming from far, far away in the distance.
Oh, really?
Oh,
do you hear me now good?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Now it's your radio voice has come through.
Yeah.
Telling you, man, you should become a radio broadcaster.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
What are you guys talking about? Just atheism?
What do you want to talk about?
Maybe we can talk about evidence for Christianity.
Okay. I'll leave it to the non-Christian guys in this group to challenge you.
What are your thoughts on the Garden Tomb, Arthur? The one where they say it's the tomb of Jesus, or some people say it is.
There's two tombs, right? I would say I haven't done sufficient research on the tombs for me to comment on it, like in any kind of a decent manner.
Yeah.
What would you say is like the controversy?
Yeah, so there's this thing I was looking at. So apparently this guy I'm reading is an archaeologist or something. He went to the Garden Tomb, he examined it. So he said,
what's his
that
name?
when Jesus would have, his name is Jonathan Gray.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't think you know him. So he was talking about how whenever the stone would seal the tomb of Jesus, there would be like, I think, shackles or something like iron that would hold the stuff in place. It would be like a staff. Like there's one on the left, one in the middle, one on the right. So he said, if they would have opened the stone, like to open it up, the staff would have been taken out. You have to take out the staff because the staff can withstand 80 tons. So you have to remove the staff from the left before opening. But he said when he went to the Garden Tomb, he saw that the staff was still there. Like there was not a staff, a shaft, an iron shaft. So he saw a bent iron shaft. He said that it's impossible for someone like a human to bend an iron shaft. It takes 80 pounds, and to do that with a giant stone, you need to have lots of starting force. So he proposed that it was the angel, whenever the angel removed the stone off the tomb, that he had that much force, that he took off the stone without breaking the iron shaft. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I thought about that.
So it's very interesting that you said like he went there. Like, were there people with him? Did they see this? Is it corroborated, or is it him just saying this stuff?
He went with like a group, like everyone can go to the thing, right? Anyone can take pictures of it.
Correct. I'm just surprised that he's the one that noticed this and nobody else.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm a bit skeptical. I don't know if this is true, but if it is true that there was like a shaft there that it's impossible to bend, I mean, it sounds pretty convincing.
Well, my thing is that I would like to see a picture of it, because we're talking about a piece of metal that's been stuck there for 2,000 years and nobody's like thought about commenting on it, except this guy. So that you see where I'm going with this. Like, there's plenty of people that have like studied this stuff and gone into these areas. Like, did we have no one say, "Hey, what's that metal thing there that's been bent?"
Yeah. That's the reason I'm pretty skeptical whenever I hear this stuff, whenever they say that they have this. But I mean, if it turns out to be true, it'll be pretty interesting why the shaft wouldn't be broken, right?
Correct, yeah. It would be, but I just found the article on the Garden Tomb. Revisiting Golgotha and the Garden Tomb, written by... This is from Religious Educator, Volume 4, Number 1, Jeffrey Chadwick.
I've seen what secular scientists have said on the tomb. They say it's like a 7th century BC tomb. But from the Christian perspective, I've seen they don't agree. They say that you can date it to that time. Like it could validly be dated to the time of Jesus. As like a tomb that would be for Christianity.
Yeah, I would assume that like once you hit the Middle Ages and Christianity kind of becomes dominant, you're going to have sites like this. You know, they build churches on them, and, you know, they do all sorts of stuff to them. And it becomes a bit difficult, especially dating wise. Like, how, you know, you're going to look at stuff. You're going to try to find things in there that don't match certain other things. That's typically the way the archaeologists work on these things.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think the reason they date this one, the Garden Tomb, at 7th century BC is because there's another tomb nearby that they have valid reason to date it. But from what I've seen from the Christian perspective, they say the tomb that they've dated to 7th century BC that's nearby, they said it's not identical to the tomb where they call the Garden Tomb. They say there are certain features like racks for bones and stuff like that, the size that would point it like not 7th century, but like 6th century BC to the 1st century AD. So I
Hmm.
mean, it can go both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I tried to find articles on this, but I couldn't find that much on like the authenticity of it. I just saw like tourist websites and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of stuff like there's that one guy that Kent Hovind used to quote quite a bit. I forget his name.
The Ron Wyatt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that guy's made a lot of claims as an archaeologist that
Oh,
are
yeah.
like kind of like way out there claims. And
Yeah, like Ark of the Covenant, Noah's Ark, and stuff like that.
Jesus' blood like leaking onto the Ark of the Covenant. Yeah. But like it's like you go, okay, bro, you don't have anything to corroborate this. You can't say, you know, I witnessed this, I saw it, and stuff like that. Now the government has it like hidden, and they have it in their possession because these are the typical things. And you kind of go, even if it's true, let's just like, I'm very willing to say it's true. It becomes kind of a moot point to talk about, right?
Yeah, right. Like I see your point. Yeah, like there's not that much.
Yeah, like what am I going to say, right? Like, let's just say I said, hey, last night a bunch of aliens visited me in my house. Spaceship landed in the backyard, and you go, did your neighbors see it? No, nobody else saw it. Whatever. It was just me. And then the FBI showed up, and they got rid of everything, and now they're hiding all the evidence. And you go, well, can we go talk to can we go talk to the FBI to corroborate this? Like, no, they're not going to want to talk to you because it's such a, you know, secret. You're not going to get any information out of it.
Yeah, right. Like some of this stuff is probably for like for public to see, like to be surprised and stuff like that. May not even be real, but
yeah. And again, I mean, you know, interpretations of events also can differ, and that's fine. But even if it's true, it becomes like, are we going to base, especially as Christians, we got to be a little careful, like basing our faith and stuff like that on what I would call anecdotal evidence like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, I think we.
Have you heard of? Oh, sorry.
Hang on, I'm trying to see who else is in here.
Yeah.
Goldfish. I haven't seen you in our Discord. Are you new to our Discord?
Oh, hello.
Hi, Goldfish. Yeah, you are new. What's up, man?
Yeah, good. I'm good. How are you?
Doing really well.
I'm in your Twitch chat. I'm the Goldfish 919970000.
Is that a number that Twitch gave you, or is that something you just chose to pick?
It's just there's so many names on Twitch, so you have to put numbers after it. So Goldfish was taken. So I was like, all right, I'll just put my birth year, and then some more zeros because that was taken as well.
1997. My guy, I was in.
You try like
I was in junior.
Like that.
I was in junior high school in 1997. 1997 is a very memorable year for me. It was a cool year. It was essentially like my full year as an American. That I understood what was going on.
Oh yeah, cool. I was just listening because I don't really know what you're all about. Just curious.
I don't know. You said you're an atheist, correct?
I didn't, but I think I am.
So you are an atheist.
I said I'm a dirty. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say. Hey, I wasn't the one who said you guys are dirty atheists. That was the other atheist who said that you guys are dirty atheists. So it's just.
All right, I see.
Makes sense. Look, I'm like equal opportunity offender, right? The Bible says we're all dirty, right? The Bible says there's no one that's good, no, not even one. So we were all. I'm good, including myself with y'all. That's why I'm a Christian. But yeah,
all right,
cool. Were you like? Do you have a religious background? Did you like? I know a bunch of people like that are in our groups and in our chats that were raised in pretty religious homes and stuff and have since walked away from that?
Yeah, so I wasn't from my parents, but like all my cousins were Christian and that. So it was always around me, so I knew like what it's all about. Like I went to church a lot, but it never really clicked with me. I guess like when I was a really young child, I like was Christian, I guess you could say.
Hmm.
But I guess I had a couple bad experiences in like church and stuff that kind of turned me away from it.
Let me ask you about your accent.
Australian.
Australian.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very, very nice. It's interesting how
yeah.
this channel attracts foreigners. Now that I'm a foreigner to you guys, but got plenty of British
Yeah.
folks in here. I don't know. It might be the timing of my
Yeah, well,
streaming.
there's so much.
What time is it in
There's so
Australia
many
right
content.
now?
7:30 a.m.
Okay. Oh, good morning.
Yes, thank you. What time is it there?
It's 2:58 p.m. I'm on the west. I'm on the west coast of the United States.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, tell me about those experiences in church that like turned you away. What were those? And what kind of churches were these? Like, tell me like the style, kind of what sort of a church were these churches?
I mean, it was probably the only one I went to, so I don't really know what other churches are like. But it was like, what do you mean? Like, we had like it was for kids as well. So like, you would go to church, and then afterwards there would be like a little, like you would play games and stuff. All the kids would play games. And
okay, so it's like you sort of like a youth group, but it wasn't like a traditional church, like like Catholic or Orthodox or something like that. It was more of a Protestant variety.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was definitely a Christian church because the people I would go with were Christians.
Yeah. So what was the bad experience you had?
Yeah. The one that was most memorable, I can't really remember many more after that, but the one that I can really remember was it was like we were young, like say like 10, 11, 12-ish, somewhere around there. And we were all like, I remember like we would play games and then we went in this like inside the church and we sat in a circle and all the kids sat down and this lady out the front was like, "Hi guys," like we would recite, like we would read a verse or whatever and like what was our favorite verse and stuff, and I wasn't sure of too many, so I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know any." And then we were asked to like just pray to God like a couple minutes. So we all closed our eyes and we prayed to God, and I genuinely did it. Like I closed my eyes and I really like gave everything I could to God. And like she said, "Okay, now we're going to discuss what you prayed about." And we all discussed it, and after that, she's like, "Okay, now did God respond in any way?" And all the kids had a response of some sort. And I was like, "What?" Like I thought that was so amazing. Then it got to me, and I was like, "I'm just gonna tell the truth." Even though I was super young, I'm like, "Look, I didn't get one. Like directly or indirectly, I didn't get anything." And I remember I can't remember exactly what she did, but she had a very distinct like reaction to it in a bad way. And from that point on, I was like kind of assuming that either he was uh, acting inappropriately or those kids were lying.
Yeah.
That was one of my two.
Wow.
Yeah, those are my two thoughts on the scenario.
Wow. That is such bad leadership.
Yeah, that's the most memorable thing that happened. There wasn't too much really after that, but I really don't like the idea of I'm not sure if it's like this in America, but in Australia, like when the kids start getting older, like teenagers, they like will be at the park or something, and then they'll go off and like kind of preach on their own. And for some reason, that didn't click with me, and that's the point where I kind of left like church.
Yeah, it's interesting. It seems to me that it seems to me that you were a part of a pretty what I would consider kind of a non-denominational, more of a charismatic church. If I were to guess, I would say you were in a setting like that. I mean,
I have been.
Dude, immediately when I hear somebody saying it's like we read Bible verses and then we prayed and then everybody was like, "Did God talk to you? What did He say?" And everybody was like, "Yeah." So I'd probably say, like, out of those that entire group, you're probably the most honest individual. That would be my immediate response to that.
Yeah, that was what I thought too.
Yeah, it's not like, and I wouldn't necessarily say those kids were lying, like intentionally lying.
Yeah, I think it's more so. Yeah, well, when I think back at it now, like as a more mature person, I think she, as an individual, is probably a bit pushy on the kids previously. They're used to that, and they probably get that reaction when they did what I did. They felt horrible like I did, and then they just end up saying, "Yeah, I felt a breeze" or something. Like,
yeah, I would say that's like
so
that's a form of
they don't get that
manipulation.
bad. Yeah, but that's and that was my experience.
It's truly interesting.
In church.
Hey, go for it, bro. Talk.
Okay, yeah. I was just curious, Arthur. You said that you wouldn't say that those kids were lying, but that basically you were trying to say that like it wasn't accurate, that God actually spoke to most of them, or possibly any of them.
Well, I thought it was definitely a possibility. Right? Yeah, that's what I was saying. So it's either one of the two, right? Like she's either manipulating them, or the kids are lying. Like one of the two, right? And like I still don't know to this day which one's true.
Yeah, I would say it's one of. I would say it's probably one of those two. That's what my take would be. I would say just like it's sort of an atmosphere you can create. It's sort of an atmosphere you can create, and where there's like an expectation for you to say something. It's like, what did you pray about? Let's just say, like, I'm just gonna stand it. Like if I pulled my kids in here, so if I had my kids in here and they're like 9, 7, and 5, and I was like, okay, everybody, close your eyes and pray and ask whatever you want of God. And then I say to them, I go, hey, what did you ask God? And they're like, oh, I asked God like for us to win our soccer game tomorrow. And I was like, oh, did God talk back to you? And they're like, yeah, He told me that we're gonna win. Like, and for me, that immediately would be like, okay, it's just your desires, and you're a kid, and you don't know how to distinguish between your desires. And like, even as a Christian, I would say you don't know how to distinguish between what your desires are and what God's desires are. Right? Like, or God speaking to you. And I believe God speaks to us in those ways. But I also realize it's difficult because I'm an adult. I realize it's difficult for us to distinguish between those two things at times.
Yeah. And now after experience, like talking with Christians a lot, like you never hear them say, yeah, God just told me this. Like, very rarely. Like it happens on very rare occasions, and like all these kids in the room said it. That's why now looking back at it, I think the leader was more manipulative, and the kids were almost pressured into lying, in a sense.
Yeah, it's weird because like my immediate thing when it comes to church, as someone who serves in the church and does ministry in the church, is like they're 10, 11 years old and they don't know the Bible. That's just the reality of the situation. Yep. And
I think the group might have been varied in age. I'm not 100% sure, but
regardless, they're teenagers. Age. They're teenagers. I mean, most adults don't know how to study the Bible. Like, as a leader, my immediate intention would be, let me teach these kids how to read the Bible properly. Right? Like, and the sad reality is, I think in churches, and Christians need to own up to this, is that we do a horrendous job when it comes to our young people and teaching them how to read well, how to ask the right questions, how to interpret passages properly, rather than saying, oh, I just opened up my Bible and I read this, and then here's what I feel it means, or something like that, And but that's a pretty common. I mean, it's sad because I've heard stories like this quite a bit. But it's also the reality.
Are you a churchgoer?
I am. Yeah. I'm in ministry. I've been I was a pastor for 10 years. I work
Yeah,
with
'cause I've met a few
teenagers.
Christians that are very against the church aspect of it. Like they're still religious and they follow it in their own way, but they don't go to church. Do you feel a certain way about that?
Yeah, I think the Bible the Bible very strongly suggests and teaches that Christians are to be part of a church. What that looks like, I think I'm a bit open to as to what the structure looks like and how we do that. Because per church, the word church technically comes the Greek word ecclesia. It means congregation. It means group of people or an assembly. So it ought to be the case that you get groups of Christians gathering together. And the Bible tells us kind of what those gatherings look like, and what the leadership looks like within those gatherings. And what we're supposed to do essentially in those gatherings. So there's the reading of the Word of God. There's explanation and teaching and preaching and exhortation and encouragement that comes with that. And there's a study of that, and there's prayer, and there's worship offered unto God, praise, worship unto God. And so if somebody says to me they're a Christian, but they just don't attend any church or they're not a part of any church, my immediate response is not that they're not Christians. It's that they've been hurt, they've been pulled away from the church, and I kind of want to know what's going on there. And at the same time, encourage them to find a group of believers that they find commonality with and they can gather with. Yeah. But I don't think it is biblical, nor is it right for Christians to not be a part of any church. So I have an issue with that.
Do you think it's possible that some churches are toxic? Like,
absolutely.
Not ran properly?
100%.
What would you say if, say, there's a scenario where it's a small town and there's one church and that church happens to be toxic? Would you think it's okay to not go to that church?
Yeah, I've heard a lot. I've heard of a lot of worse situations than that. So, yeah, I mean, if there's all sorts of things we can come up with and go, what's going on? Where would this person go? So, I know a guy whose dad became former Muslim in Iran. The dad became a Christian in like a small village, and he knew no Christians. He was the guy baptized himself in his bathtub. He read the Bible. He read the Bible and he saw that people get baptized, and he knew no Christian to baptize him. So he went in his bathtub and he baptized himself. Eventually he went on to a bigger town where there were churches and met a bunch of people, so on and so forth. But that guy had no community, had nowhere to be. And that was out of like necessity. That was out of fear. He couldn't just come out and tell his neighbors that he's a Christian now because there's threats to his life. He's a former Muslim, become Christian, so there's complications of that sort, I would say, that are the case. And this is partly why I think in the Bible, when it speaks about people going places to preach the gospel, it's not that they go and preach the gospel, but rather they make disciples, then they establish churches. So if you pay attention to the New Testament letters that are typically called the pastoral letters, which is 1 Timothy, Titus, and 2 Timothy, you're getting Paul the apostle speaking to his students, his disciples, and he's telling them what it looks like for him to establish a church and raise up leaders and what he's supposed to teach them and the kind of character these leaders are supposed to have. So it's the Christianity doesn't get introduced in a way of this like solo sort of stuff. But I suppose that could be the situation in which, you're in a town and the only church that's there is whatever, it's a village or a small town. And it's a very toxic church. I mean, actually, today in the morning, there's a really good friend of our channel. Her name is Ashley. Ashley put out a video about a very recent. This is a seasoned Christian man. A church in her town that she started attending that ended up being a very toxic church. She, I can post this video, man. Like it was heartbreaking because this is a friend and a sister. That I know well, and like it started well, but it was very clear that the church went kind of off the wall, kind of in their character and the kind of culture they have at that church. So I completely think those things are possibilities.
If you were in that situation, what would you like in the small town where the church is not running properly, what would your actions be? Would you try to like build the church up and like try to get better leadership, or would you go a different route?
Yeah, I mean, it depends at how long I've been a Christian, all that stuff. Let's just say I would probably find
Right now,
yeah,
if
right.
you were
Oh, right now
teleported
I'd plant a church. If it was me right now, I'd start another church.
Okay.
Yeah, if I was in a town, but that's like
Would you?
I'm a seasoned Christian, man. Like I've been a Christian for 20 some odd years. I've been in ministry. I've been through Bible college and seminary. Like I have the leadership skills. I have the theological know-how to be able to.
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't just like start a church randomly. I would actually probably start with doing some evangelism. And if there were people who became Christians, I'd start discipling them and teaching them, and probably start like a home group Bible study with 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
And then just let it move forward from there. That's what I would do.
See, this is something that also, like, for someone that's like just getting into it, obviously it's very hard to do that. Like, say you're 15 years old and you've grown up in that small town.
Yeah.
Like, I know, I'm not sure what your beliefs are, but I know a lot of Christians believe like if you're not Christian, you're either going to hell or like you're not righteous in your own right, or not following the word of God or whatever, right? Something along those lines.
Yep. That's what I would say.
So if you're a 15-year-old in this small town, the church is toxic, they're never going to become Christian. Do you think that they will get their chance eventually, or?
Yeah, I wouldn't just presuppose that you're never going to become a Christian because that's the context. You can read the Bible. You can read the Bible on your own and become a Christian. That's not. Here's the way I would put it. I mean, there's theological ways of answering this. I would say if God knows that you're going to become a Christian, then He would make it about that you become a Christian. He would put in the conditions, essentially.
So does he already know who's going to be Christian and who's not?
Correct. That would be defined a part of God's all-knowingness, His omniscience.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Now, again, Christians disagree on what that process looks like. So there's Christians who believe that there's Christians who believe in something called predestination, which God has predetermined who's going to become a Christian or not, and then Christians that don't necessarily believe that, or even Christians who believe like a different form of predestination, like it's still predestination, but it looks different as to like what is the thing that makes him decide X, Y, and Z. I don't want to complicate it, overcomplicate it, but none of that really is an issue to like individuals living their lives and whether they become Christians or not. So if you're 16, 17 years old and that's like your only access to Christianity, I don't think in anybody's theological worldview, even those who disagree with each other, does it say there's no way this person is going to become a Christian. I mean, I can very simply, like the example I gave was an individual who didn't know anything about Christianity, who was in a town where there weren't even any churches. Like, I don't remember the story exactly, but I think it was something like he either watched a TV show or he got his hands on a book and he read it, and then that's how that individual became a Christian. And he's the only one in his town.
Do you think people go through their lives without ever getting the chance to even get that information though?
I would say that's probably the case.
But you believe like they would never be Christian no matter what happened, even if they were in an environment where they could learn about that?
That's a possibility. I'm not sure because the Bible doesn't really answer this question very immediately, let's say. It's not a very clear answer. I would say that is a possibility of God knew this person would never come to faith, and so the opportunity is never given to them. You could even argue that the opportunity not being given to them is a form of grace, in the sense that they are not held responsible for something they knew and rejected. So they're like more in the ignorant route. That doesn't mean they're going to go to heaven or something. That it just means there's a less of a, requirement on them. But I can't like say that for sure. I think that's a possibility. It's a possibility that I actually believe in. I actually think that is the case, my personal view. But I don't want to overstep that in regards to its theological stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a possibility. I think another one is that we don't know what's going to happen to him if he's never heard or whatever. Like, it could be like weird time periods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So are you are you in like Sydney or are you in?
I'm in a place called Darwin, so the top of Australia.
Wait, it's called what?
Darwin, Darwin.
Like Darwin.
In Northern Territory. Yeah, Charles Darwin.
Like Darwin.
Yeah, do you know Darwin?
Do I know Charles Darwin?
Probably not pronouncing it. Yeah, so same last. That's how you. Yeah, Darwin, Charles Darwin.
Yeah. I don't know where it is. Like Australia is a place that I probably really want to go to when the opportunity comes.
It's just at the very top.
Yeah.
It's very hot. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think Australia is considered hot for Americans, maybe, and like Darwin's like the hottest part.
So Fahrenheit-wise, what are we looking at?
I don't know Fahrenheit.
Okay, tell me Celsius. Tell me Celsius.
Well, it's actually more humid in Darwin, so it gets to like 35-ish. It gets like 40s in the wet season. So we only have 2 seasons as well because we don't have winter. It never gets that cold.
Yeah, man, that's Los Angeles for me. Like that's just the reality.
Yeah, so we have wet season and dry season, we call it. I'm not even sure the months. It's just always hot year round. But it gets to like
no, dude, this is like when I ask my dad about like ancestors and stuff, and he'll be like when was that? Like when was this person born? He's like, I don't know, between spring and the following summer. It's like, we just have 2 seasons. It's wet and dry.
Yeah. Yeah. So like when people from Darwin move other places in Australia, like we don't know when the months are, and we seem like idiots because we're just not used to the seasons. Pretty funny.
I love it. Like this is so cool, man. Yeah, I mean the weather-wise, we in Los Angeles. I live in Southern California, and we hit about 40, 35, 42, 43. It gets pretty warm here, but it isn't as humid.
Yeah, it's probably
similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm used to that. I'm used to like just sitting in my office and sweating. But the humidity is kind of man, humidity is something else.
Yeah, everyone here is like, oh yeah, Darwin's like not that bad because like people from Perth and Melbourne and all that, they go, yeah, it gets that temperature here too, and then they come here and they're like, holy crap.
Yeah, and that's the humidity. So that's the way Los Angeles people feel when they end up in Miami. So Miami's humid.
Yeah,
it's really hot, and it'll like in Miami it'll start raining like crazy. And it'll be like, let's say, like 35 degrees Celsius, and then it'll rain for 10 minutes, and it'll stop, and you're like dry 10 minutes after that. it's very interesting.
Yeah, so it's a pretty small town. It's only 100,000-ish people, I think.
That's it's interesting that you're like 100,000 people. It's a small town.
I think that's small, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's just like those of us who are located in really big towns, and then I've also lived in very small towns. I'm not originally from the United States, so.
Yeah. Smaller than 100,000?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah. I've lived in.
I've been in villages where there's like the population is like 5,000, not even.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So really, like everybody knows everybody. So I get your question where you're talking about like, hey, you're in a small town and then there's like one church and it's whatever the issue may be. Like I really understand that because a lot of that stuff really depends on leadership. If you have bad leadership or if you got like a manipulative leader, like the Christians aren't exempt from that. You know what I mean? Just because someone claims to be a Christian doesn't mean they can't be a schizophrenic, or they can't like be power hungry, just like maniacal individuals, or just bad decision makers.
Would you consider, like, I feel like if you're a true Christian, you can't do certain things, otherwise you can't call yourself a true Christian, in my opinion. Because I know,
Like, give me an example.
it's like, you can't rape someone if you're a Christian.
Correct.
That's
Yes.
not, you're not following God. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and the million of other things you can't do, which obviously is bad for any person. Like, I would never do that, even though I'm not Christian.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thing, that it's like 50% of people that say they're Christian do bad things that Christians can't do if they're living by the word of God.
Yeah, so there's two
you're not Christian.
answers, right? There's two answers we can give to that. One of them being is that they're not Christians. They're like culturally Christian, right? They just have Christian influence, cultural. Like I was like that for the first 17 years of my life. Very culturally influenced. That was just my identity. I never read the Bible. I wasn't following Jesus. Didn't mean. So I always tell people I was a practical atheist. But if you asked me if I was a Christian, I would have told you yes. But the way I lived my life was I acted like God didn't exist. And so there's one of those. And then the other one would be just like hypocrisy, right? And Jesus spoke quite a bit about hypocrisy and told us not to be hypocrites, to be consistent. But there's quite a bit of hypocrisy. Maybe there's a third category where the Christian, let's just say, has a bad day, right? And I'm not talking about the huge issues they're talking about. Like, let's just say, or they have bad habits they've developed or something, or whatever reason could be for their act. Like, Christians aren't supposed to steal, let's just say. And this one individual Christian steals. It's like, does it mean he's not a real Christian? Well, no, not necessarily. It could be that he stole out of necessity. Like, if he didn't, his kids were going to die. But it could also mean that he's built a bad character. Like, he's kind of become a kleptomaniac and he just takes stuff off of shelves. Like, he can still be a Christian and develop extremely bad habits that he needs to turn away from. Well, I would say the kleptomaniac thing I would say is intentional, but it would feel to him that it's not intentional. But that's typically what addiction looks like. Addiction looks like that, right? Like, when we're addicted to things, we feel like we don't have a will over it, like control over it. But in reality, we do. But we've become enslaved ourselves. So there could be a number of possibilities. But I get your general point as to the authentic nature of like living a Christian life. And the simply put, this just means, hey, we are called by Jesus and the Bible to live lives that are godly, that are according to the Bible. And when we are inconsistent with that, when we don't live in accordance to that, then the Bible tells us that we are to repent, then we are to do good works, we are to stop doing those things. There's quite a bit of what I would say positive reinforcement or positive commands in the Bible, as opposed to like, don't do this, and don't do this. There's a lot of things where it tells us do this and do that and do the other, right? So it's just a matter of realizing you're being inconsistent and then repenting, which means to change the way you're living your life, and then be consistent in that. So we got something 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 7 of us all in totality in this group, by the way. Just putting that out there, guys. And anybody who wants to jump into the conversation, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Because we're also like global here. Let me just say, like, hey, we got Los Angeles, we got the United States, we got England, we got Australia. It's all good, dude. We got all sorts of ethnicities represented. Like, look at that. Jesus is bringing the world together. Cha-ching. That was funny, man. Come on, guys. Go ahead. Who was that one to talk?
Yeah, it was me.
Jerome.
Yo, guys, let me ask you something.
Are you asking me?
No, not you. Goldfish.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, like the stuff you said before was kind of interesting, actually, and I think that we might agree on a lot. And I feel like we've had like similar experiences, although mine are like way less extreme than yours, but close enough. And you like answered everything I've wanted to ask you. 'Cause I've thought of questions, and then you immediately answered them afterwards. So I'll just ask you this, right? Um, how does the Twitch algorithm allow you to see this channel? How does that work? Because like, yeah, I can understand like finding it through YouTube and all that, but like Twitch is a bit weird. So like, what were you watching to have this show up on your screen or something?
I actually saw him on YouTube first, but
Oh,
That is so not the question I thought you were going to ask him.
He's like, so I want to know.
why Twitch? No, I think originally it was a couple of weeks ago. I think originally I saw him on YouTube, and then 'cause I just use Twitch more. I just
Okay.
put on Twitch and
You know,
I
I've
realized
had
he was on Twitch as
complaints
well.
from Twitch users that my video is too high of a quality, and it doesn't show on Twitch. Like
What?
that's, I don't know what that means. I don't. Again, I stream on Twitch, but I'm not like very active in regards to knowing all the details. I haven't inputted but
There was a time where it just shut off, but I don't think that's
Yeah,
the reason.
and it's weird because I have women tell me that I'm just too sexy all the time. So it's kind of the same problem, honestly.
hey man, you probably don't want
Yeah, we
random
had that
women
problem.
coming up to you and telling you you're too sexy. Okay, that's probably gonna get you in trouble, all sorts of troubles. Stay away.
Was
Yeah,
that
that's all I
what
had.
you
Really.
wanted to ask me?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. Like everything else is like I can understand really.
Are you Christian yourself or religious?
No, not really. Although, I'm in a bit of a weird spot right now, but it's fine. So I'm basically like you in most ways.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, this is a cool
mean, either way.
place. This is a safe space for all the atheists to gather. 'Cause
That is untrue, by the way. He's lying to you.
hey, come on, man! I'm like one of the most.
He's more
I'm one of the most understanding
when you
and
say you're
gracious
gonna
guys
be
that does
around.
apologetics. Come
Nah,
on.
like, Goldfish. Do not read general. Like, don't read it. I'll tell you this now. Don't read it, bro.
Don't read what?
What?
Nah, I'm joking. Do what you want.
No, but hang
Oh,
on.
in general, he can read it if he's got a
Wait, what are we talking
got a
about
good
reading?
toaster and a full bathtub.
Dude, what is going
The
on?
general chat on Discord.
Oh, the Discord chat. Oh my gosh. I'm not paying attention. Hang on. Yeah, I just mark already read or something. And then if I see some interesting stuff, I'll jump into it. Okay. But look, I'm telling you, like Apologia Center generally is a very, very safe kind of environment. At least if you're interacting with me, I can't speak for those people who are just like screen names to me. But yeah, we appreciate the atheists in our community. We really do. I think they're wealth. For the most part, I think all of the non-believing folks in on the YouTube channel, on Discord, are well thought out individuals. Like they think about this stuff deeply. I actually think they think about some of this stuff more deeply than a lot of Christians do. And so
Yeah, I think I definitely did.
yeah, that's good.
Much.
Well, you're in the right place, man. By the way, again, I appreciate that you are vulnerable and you shared your story. Like that's and it was funny. I was giving a talk on Wednesday at a church. And I spoke about like, hey, if people bring up issues that you know the church has, don't try to defend it, right? Like, just own up to it. Say, yes, we've done that. We're wrong. So it's important. Like the situation you brought up. For me, I'm just like, oh man, like I why would you do that with a bunch? Like, and again, I have a 9-year-old. Like, I wouldn't do that with my 9-year-old because he says all sorts of funny stuff. Sean Kelly's on YouTube, by the way, just putting that, because Sean's from the British Isles as well. And Sean's an interesting character. He said, even me. I think he means like the atheist kind. Yes, Sean, even you who really loves nature and probably more than human beings, but yes. Yes, my friend. Sean's an interesting character. We've had interesting conversations with him. This is great. Hey, guys, I really appreciate this conversation. I have to take my son to soccer practice. Sorry, and I apologize to our non-American viewers that I said soccer. So I'm taking to football. I'm taking to football practice.
You deserve to be arrested for that one.
Yeah, in Armenian, when we
very unprofessional of you, by the way.
When I'm talking Armenian, it's always football. When I'm talking Armenian, it's always football, bro.
Instead of streaming.
But I do. And
sorry if I'm interrupting or talking over. I have an internet delay.
That's okay.
And a cognitive delay.
Well, hopefully the cognitive delay is not like an 8-minute delay.
No, it's not that bad.
Okay.
It's only about 3%, according to my neurologist.
Oh man, the sarcasm in this is just through the roof. Jackson said, Arthur, don't forget the email. I am not forgetting the email, my friend. I will get back to you. Guaranteed. You got an assignment to do. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Hey guys, appreciate you guys. I'm gonna say bye. I'm gonna jump off this Discord chat. You guys don't have to. I mean, you guys can continue talking to each other.
See you, Arthur.
I might actually come back in. If you guys want to continue the conversation, I might come back in as I take him to practice, because usually I just sit there. But if you guys want to continue the conversation. And for our YouTube friends and Twitch friends, hey, thanks guys for hanging out. This has been pretty chill. It's been a fun conversation here on this Friday. I hope you guys have a really good weekend. Enjoy yourselves. If you're a Christian, make sure you go to church. Find a church if you don't have one. If you're looking for one and you're in my area, you're more than welcome to come to our church. Reach out to me. You can info@apologiacenter.com. And if, again, you're looking for a church, just reach out to me. I might know people who are near you, and you can go to those churches. So we got people in New Jersey, and we got people in all over the United States and all over the world. So bless you guys. Look out for some videos I'm going to be releasing, and share those out if you enjoy them. If you've enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, do all the stuff that we ask you guys to do, because it helps. Take care. God bless you guys. I'll see you Monday.